Okay, now that we have all of our states laid out within our stage and we have every combination possible, it's time to add the toggle. And the toggle is what controls the logic. I'm going to go into my stage real quick and remember that we renamed this L3 director here. This director is what holds all of our animations. And this name of this director is very important because the next step when adding the toggle, the name will need to match. So what I'm going to do is drag a group down here and I'm going to immediately name this L3. I want it to be the exact same name as my director. Once I have that, I'm going to go into my server, into my built-ins, go into the container folder where we find the toggle plugin. I'm going to take this toggle plugin and I am going to drag it down onto my container named L3. Once I do that, I'm going to go into and click on my toggle to go into the editor, and I'm going to hit this button called default keyframes. And once we hit that, if we get this little animation wheel on there, we know that all of our combinations are pretty much correct and that we're not getting any errors. We didn't see any errors pop up in our information or our shell commands, so it looks like we are good. And what we can do now at this point, you can save it. But let me just show you what's going on here in the stage. Once we added that toggle, what it did is add these extra containers or extra directors. It's called L3AX, L3AO, L3BX, L3BO. And what's going on in here is this is a default transition between each state. So we have an L3AX, and you see it has an alpha animation in here. And same with the L3BX, it also has an alpha animation in here. Depending how fast you want your transitions to take place, you can adjust this, and or you could completely replace this alpha animation with your own animation. So I'm just going to go ahead and decrease this a little bit. I want my alpha or my default transition to come in a little bit faster than 1 second. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, 0.5 seconds or whatever, however fast I want that to come in. When you save a transition logic scene, especially the master scene, just make sure everything is rewound. So I usually like to come into my director, select all, and rewind everything. And then I'm going to hit save to make sure this scene is saved. The next point is that we need to start making our call-ups scenes for the lower thirds. And a good thing that you may want to do is advance through each graphic, and I want to take a snapshot at each state. So here's my state A, and I want to put it into a folder here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a snapshot. This is A. I'm going to advance through it. This is B. I'll take a snapshot. We'll hit OK. We'll advance through it to the next one. We really don't need it, but I will anyway. It's C. And then we're going to go to D. I'm going to take a snapshot. And I'm going to go to E. Take a snapshot. Name it E. I'm going to go to F. Take a snapshot. And then one more. This is my last one. I'm going to take one more snapshot and go to G. And again, you'll see how we use these snapshots in the next thing. They're really just for reference. The next point, we're going to move on to the call-up scenes.